Hey everybody, it is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, March 16th, 2020, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. Well, what a day it is. This has been the most intense market situations I have ever seen in my life, so I hope everyone's trying to stay safe out there. I hope everyone, if they're even taking positions or taking conservative positions, accounting for volatility, this has been epic. This has really been epic. So I really appreciate you coming today. I hope you're all doing well. Currently, we are down 1,974 points. We were down, I believe, close to down 2,700 points this morning. Circuit breakers were activated with limit down. Futures were down all night last night. I'm sure you've read the Fed cut the Fed funds rates to zero, did $700 billion in quantitative easing, and the market still went down. So interesting times here. Like I said, we're in the final hour of the trading day. In my opinion, the most valid prices to make your buying and selling decisions, or the time to make the most valid buying and selling decisions, is at the end of the day, in the last hour, particularly in the last few minutes. The large financial institutions tend to take the pricing away from the algorithms and the day traders during the day and take control of the price and move it to what I believe in most instances, I don't know about in these crazy days, are the most valid prices of the day. And that's why I tend to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day. So anyway, let's take a look. Yeah, currently we're down 2,077 points, down 9% on the Dow. NASDAQ is down 676 points, down 8.62%, and the S&P is down 227 points, down 8.41%. So let's take a look. Hey, Deanne is here. Nice to see you, Deanne. As always, hope you had a nice weekend. Hope the dogs and cats are doing well. Hey, Zach, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Oh, Nelly is right. Or as I like to say, holy hamburgers. Mount Doji, hello everyone. President speaks in 15 minutes. Well, that should be interesting, huh? Repeat of Friday. Yeah, well, it seems like every day is like this now. Glenn says, hey, Greg, not trading in this crazy market. Raise cash levels to 75% and we'll get to 100 on further drops. That sounds like a good plan, Glenn. You know, I always talk about having a maximum of 60% of my account in the market at all times. And when the market's going up, you know, I've had a lot of people, well, why would you do that? You don't make as much. Well, you know, when it comes to trading, one of the most important things is not necessarily how much you make, it's how much you protect yourself to the downside. So Mecon 25, hey, how you doing? Dan, good to see you, Dan. Joe Turner, whoo, everyone. Joe had a nice trade, I believe, on JP Morgan, right? We're going to get to that in a minute. He had a short trade, so good for you, Joe. Steve Burns, this is a health crisis that has a financial crisis as a side effect. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Nice to have you here, Steve. Always appreciate you being here. Always an honor and a privilege to have somebody of Steve Burns' stature in the chat. So always feel lucky, and I think we all should as well. But thank you, Steve. Kamal, hey, Greg and all. Hello, Kamal. Good to see you, buddy. Joe has a poem for us. Feds jumped up last night and tried to be a hero. They took a big stand, cut rates to nearly zero. I'm not going to drive my car, so I think I will park it and see what happens in this bear market. Bravo, Joe. Good stuff, as always. Not only does Joe and Frank, not only do they have good poems, but they're relevant to what the market's doing in the day. So we should be glad that we can read that. Feds jumped up last night and tried to be a hero. They took a big stand to cut rates to nearly zero. I'm not going to drive my car, so I think I will park it and see what happens in this bear market. Kamal, out of Microsoft, 148 to 147. TGT out of 100.8 to 98. Yep, I'm going to get to those. Glad to see that Kamal was able to limit those losses to a pretty small loss. Greg Perkins, how you doing, Greg? Is that the Greg that's friends with my friend Alan and Ashley? I think it is, but thank you for coming, Greg. Appreciate it. And nice name, by the way. If you have any questions today, Greg, you please let me know. Steve says, my system was designed to avoid large drawdowns in this type of crash, but it was stress tested. Yeah, like I say, whatever kind of trading you're doing, we should always focus on the risk before the profit. Of course, we want to make profit in the market, but the overriding thoughts that we should have are, how do I limit risks, right? For sure, Joe. For sure, Steve. Joe said, got out of JPM this morning. I was hoping that was the case, Joe, on that big gap down. Steve says, the only thing that is going to solve the market problem is a vaccine. Yes, I agree. I did see a story that they're starting trials, but who knows how long that's going to take, right? So, all right, well, listen, here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, why I bought them, when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, we are going to take a look at a couple positions, a few positions that members of the group have shared with me, and we'll go through those. We'll take a look at that. After that, we are going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. Trader psychology could never be as important as it is now in this market. All the things that I talk about and beat you over the head with each day, I understand in a bull market, it seems like, he should just be quiet, right? But we never know when these kind of things are going to happen. And there's a lot of people who have lost all their money, blown up their accounts. Undoubtedly, they have. And, to be a good trader, you have to be in this game. To be in this game, you have to keep your money. And to keep your money, you have to manage risk. So anyway, let's be thankful for the positions we didn't take. Let's be thankful for the smaller positions that we did take. And let's be thankful that, we have some rules and we have a plan, and, rules and plans don't always work out, right? Of course, in life that never, it doesn't always work out, but you at least have to have a plan, and the plan has to revolve around getting out quickly if you're wrong, being patient if you're right, and following your rules. So that all comes back to trader psychology. And so I'm going to do a few minutes on trader psychology after that. After that, we're just going to go down through each stock in my watch list. There's a potential for a couple of trades. Not sure I'm going to take them. I'll just see how things are, see how they look. But I think it will be interesting to take a look at this damage today. When I do look for a trade, I have three criteria. It's very simple. First requirement is I look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up at the same time, which to me really means multiple groups of buyers lining up together at the same time. And the more buyers you have, the better chance the better position you put yourself in to have a profitable trade. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it does increase your chances. Step two, we have to make sure we have a good risk to reward ratio, that we're not chasing prices, that our stop below us is pretty close, and our potential valid resistance above us is further than 2 times away. So if I'm going to risk $100 on a trade, I want to be able to make at least 200 or more. And step three, extremely important, is a correlation of your positions and also your account heat. A correlation means, you don't want to have too many tech stocks. You want to have some diversification in your stock, but overriding, even more important than that, is the account heat. And what I mean by account heat is what percentage of your account is at risk. Like I said, the maximum I ever put at risk for me is 60% of my capital. So if everything went to zero, I'd still have 40%. So we're going to go down. There are a few. Not sure I'm going to take them all. We'll just have to see how it feels. We'll have to see what happens with President Trump's speech here, what he has to say. I have no idea. Then after that, if you'd like me to take a look at any symbols, I'm happy to do that. If you would like, if you have any questions, you need clarification on anything, I'm happy to answer that. If you'd like me to take a look at any symbols before the market closes that you think would be helpful for the group or interesting, or you'd like my opinion on, please go ahead, just put the symbol in, but make sure you put a star by it so I know it's time sensitive. Okay, so listen, hang tight, about 40 seconds and I'll be back. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, so it looks like San Francisco orders residents to stay inside except for essential needs. Would not be surprised if that, if they enacted that around the country. Who knows? We shall see. But it's historic times, everybody. Hopefully in the future, one day when the market's back up, we'll be able to look back, watch this video, or at least I will, and go, wow, I was right in the thick of the middle of that. So Dan says, hey everyone, tip for y'all. Great insight into legendary trader Nicholas Darvas books and Steve Burns. He wrote an easy read book. It even covers some of his best trades. Thank you, Steve. Yes, I agree. I love the Nicholas Darvas book that Steve, I think, rewrote. Is that because I know I read it and I'm pretty sure Steve wrote it, but yeah, Nicholas Darvas, very famous investor, and I believe Steve wrote that book. I read that book, right? How to Make $2 Million in the Market. Sounds like kind of a cheesy title, but I think Steve wrote it or updated it. Glenn, in Toronto, restaurants are closing, not waiting for government, looking for companies that make pasta, toilet rolls, etc., like Clorox at 169 with a move back above the 5 EMA. Yep. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. This market is so bad. Your opening disclaimer sounds good. Oh, yeah, I know. It sounds pretty lame, right? Okay. Joe Turner, we really need drone delivery now. Yep. That would be good for sure. I went to the store on Saturday, bought a lot of tuna fish. What else did I get? Tuna fish, water, some beans, things like that. So, all right, well, let's take a look-see here. What's going on? Now, if you remember on Friday, I did take a position in Apple, but thankfully and luckily, I wrote deep out of the money. I sold deep out of the money puts on Apple down here to $210, meaning I received premium for riding them at 210. If it got down there, of course, I would have to buy it at 210, which I was fairly happy to do. I was fortunate in the fact that Friday I bought them before we had the big rush up. It opened way down, rallied back up, and I basically got out for a very, very small loss. I decided just to go ahead and be happy with, I was, expecting a huge loss, but I actually got out almost even, just barely a small loss on Apple. So I did go ahead and cover those for basically break even. Now, SPY, well, let's take a look. So listen, for those of you who are new, I do buy the SPY every day, which has been a disaster over this last 3 weeks. Luckily, I have only been buying a half position size, but if we have some new viewers, I want to explain why I do this quickly. But I do buy the SPY every day at the close, sell it first thing the next morning. I do this because of this back study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Two approaches to this that they tested since 1993. First approach was buying the SPY at the open each day, selling it at the close each day. Using this approach every day from 1993, you'd actually lost a negative 13.9% return for all your troubles and effort. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, and buy the SPY at the close each day, sell it first thing the next morning, you'd have actually made a positive 634.2% return. No performances or past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true, and who knows, going forward, this may never work again. I don't know. You know, the equity curve, the long-term equity curve does show that this does have an edge. It has a nice profit graph over the years, but in between you have big drawdowns, and we are going through one of those right now. So with that being said, I did buy the SPY Friday at the close, half position, thankfully, at 269.32. This morning, when I got up, I wanted to get out of this manually, and the market was shut down, you know, because of the limit down. Historically, from what I've noticed, a lot of times when the market does go to locked limit down, it does bounce. And so I waited for this to come out. It did bounce. So instead of getting out here at the open at 241.18, I actually got out at 251.06. Still took a clobber, right? Just still took a clobber on this overnight, but luckily it was only 6% instead of about 12%. I am probably going to pass on taking this tonight. It's just too volatile. So this will be the first time in over 13 months that I have not taken this trade, but it's just so volatile. I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass on it. Qs. All right, so I did sell the Qs. I did write puts on the Qs on Friday. I sold them down to $130. Right now it's $178.89. As long as the Qs stay above this by June 30th, I will keep all the premium. I wrote this one out a little further. I still have about 28% protection to the downside. Don't mind buying down here if and when it gets down there, although I would rather it not get down there and just be able to collect the premium. So anyway, I feel pretty good with 28% protection on this. It wasn't a huge position. It's just a regular 10% position size. Anyway, I am keeping that one. Exxon, I did sell Exxon puts on Friday. I sold them down to $25. Currently, we're at $35.80. So I do have about 30% protection down there. Got a heck of a lot of premium. I wrote them here based upon the 200 quarterly mark here. Don't know. We'll see. It was a lot of premium. I don't think I mind buying Exxon down at 25, or at least managing the trade down there at 25. Okay. And then lastly, this was an intraday trade on IWM. You can see we had the high of yesterday and then we had the low of today. When it rallied back up into here, I was a little concerned that it would go back down. So what I did is I bought some puts, some defined risk puts here at about halfway, and it immediately sold off, and I made a nice profit on that, luckily. I should say that I also did take a day trade in SPY here just on this last 39-minute bar when we had this nice V1. Here's day one, day two washes out day one, close, or was above day one's close. I got it here at 249.97. I took a very small position and slightly down on that, but this will be a day trade. I'll be exiting this before the end of the day. Did want to show you my transactions here today. Let's take this over here. So you can see I did sell the SPY 251.06. I bought the IWM puts at 530, sold them out at 720, so that was a nice profit, and then got out of the Apple puts here at 230, which was very close to where I sold them. And then here's the last trade I did on SPY 249.97, but I am a little underwater on that. But again, I took a super small position. I actually took a quarter of a position just to take a trade without having to stress too much and see if it would play out. So my stop on this is going to be halfway of this washout bar right here on a closing basis on that 39-minute chart. So anyway, yeah, down day today, but I'll tell you what, I was preparing myself for a big loss last night, and as it turns out, thankfully, I've lost less today than I made on Friday, so I am definitely happy for that. Dan says, name of the book, How I Made Money Using Nicholas Darvas System, which made him $2 million in the stock market, by Steve Burns. There you go. Yep. Greg, is that an indicator that the short-term bottom is in when people start giving up on their strategy? We know the market has hit pain threshold. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. So there's your indicator that Greg is giving up on the overnight SPY trade today. I 100% believe that's probably telling. 100%. I mean, look, there's fear. There's lots of fear. It's visceral. There's blood in the streets. Absolutely. But yeah, I would say that's an indicator. 100%. You can call that the Greg not taking the overnight SPY trade indicator. All right, let's take a quick look-see over here. Okay, all right. Yeah, good point, Glenn. Really good point. So listen, this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trading psychology. As I mentioned, it's the most important skill you can have, the ability to take trades when you don't want to take them, the ability to not take trades when you really do want to take them, creating a plan, following the plan. There are a lot of people that are good chartists, technical analysts, that can develop great plans, but following them is a completely other animal. And if you're finding that you're not being able to follow your plan, then you've got some work to do. That's a skill that you have to hone. I do like to go through Facebook. I do like to go through Twitter each day. And there's some really good channels out there. They put out a lot of good information. If we would just take the time and spend 10 seconds and read it and internalize it. One of my favorites is Trading Composure on Twitter, at Trading Composure on Twitter. You really should subscribe to this channel. He has some really good deep thoughts about trading. And so let's read what Trading Composure has to say today. What happens in the market is absolutely 100% out of your control. That is true, right? I've always mentioned this before. There's only two things you have control of in this market: your position size and when you buy or sell something. But everything else, you have absolutely 100% is out of your control. Number two, you are in charge of making the best decisions you can make at the moment, right? They're not always going to be correct, but you make the best decisions you have at the moment. You are also in charge of maintaining your composure, right? And composure is extremely important. Emotions get so amplified in these kind of markets, and people just get in quickly, they get out quickly, they change their mind, 3-4 times a day as far as I'm in, no, I'm out, no, I'm in, no, I'm out. I do it, right? I mean, I don't physically do it very often, but I think it, right? So we do have to maintain our composure. I mean, we have to keep our heads when everyone else is losing theirs. That's all the control you have, and it's plenty enough. And that's the key. It is all the control you have, but it's plenty enough. But just to circle back, make a plan, conservative, position size conservatively, identify your levels, get as close to your stop as you can. Make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. That's your plan. Plans don't always work out, but you have to have a plan. If you're just gunslinging in here without really any plan, you're just going to get burnt. I just tell you, you're going to get burnt. But remember, not all plans work out, but you have to have a plan. It doesn't have to be the best plan in the world. It just has to be a decent enough plan. And if you follow that decent enough plan, like Trading Composure says, it's probably plenty enough. So thank you, Trading Composure. Always appreciate your great posts. Okay. Let me take a quick look-see here. Oops. Oh, I forgot. let's take a look at some of your trades. So Joe shorted JP Morgan Friday at the close, and I know he got a little worried about it because the market just ran away from us at the last day, and I know that he was several points out of the money, but look who's laughing now. And I believe Joe covered that earlier in the morning, and I mean, from open to close, this is insane. 18% down. So I don't know at what price Joe got out, but I know it was a profit. So congratulations, Joe. I'm glad to see somebody making some money today. Microsoft. Kamal did buy Microsoft Friday. Luckily, he didn't buy it at the close. He bought it right here, right as it crossed over the 200-day moving average. He waited on it in the morning. As it got close back up here to his entry, he got out with a very small loss. So congratulations. It wasn't a win, but he turned a big loss into close to a break-even trade. So that's impressive, Kamal. And then TGT as well. He got in a little better price here on Friday, right at about $100, and I think he got out at $100.80, and he got it out at 98. So all in all, pretty good to be able to turn that massive loss at the open into what's a survivable loss. So congratulations, Joe, on your short, bud. Nice to see that. Okay. Well, let's go down through here and take a look and see what's happening and see if there's anything interesting whatsoever. Apple, well, $98. Okay. Listen, on any other day, I would probably buy Apple here. But I am just going to turn in my horns even a little bit more. I do have the Qs, the puts, and I was talking about correlation. If Apple goes zooming up, the Qs will go up as well. So I do like this setup, to be honest with you. I like the under 200, over 200, under the negative third ATR channel, over the third ATR channel. I do like this, but again, correlation, if I throw on some more Apple, and then I'm just going to be more highly correlated in tech. And so I'm not going to do it. I was very happy to get out of this, basically break even on my puts, because I mean, this thing opened up down. What did it open up down? $36 maybe? $34, something like that. So, just from the chart, under 200, over 200, looks really good. We did catch support at the third ATR channel and the third ATR channel and the 50-week moving average. Yeah, it looks good, but again, I have the Q puts, so I don't want any more correlation. Hey, Bing He, good to see you, my friend. Kamal says gold and PTON. Okay, well, let's look at PTON real quick, and I will get to gold as we go down through the watch list. Yeah, Peloton, PTON is just really kicking butt, right? I mean, because they make the inside exercise bikes, which I assume if everyone has to stay inside, up 15% today. I just don't think I can chase here. Doesn't mean it can't go all the way back up here and go up another $6, but from a risk to reward ratio, right? I talk about risk to reward. I don't think the risk to reward makes sense on this, but who knows, right? But who knows? Let's take a look here. I have to take a look at my intraday trade here on SPY. Not doing so hot. So if I get a close below this halfway here, I'm going to have to get out of that. Adobe, we gapped way down, went back up, rejected the 200-day moving average above us. That's never a good sign. So nothing on Adobe. Amazon down 82. My gosh, I think this was down 150 points earlier. Got close to bouncing at the 30 RSI, but again, I'm just going to pass on Amazon today. Boeing down 20.5% just today. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's literally unbelievable. This is just a good example of having a stop loss, following it. Some people up here didn't get out of their stops. They probably had it in their plan, but they probably didn't follow their plan. And I mean, is this even recoverable anymore? I just don't know. I just don't know. Berkshire, the best, way to go about this is not to put yourself in a position where you've lost so much that you're just wondering what to do. It's easier to take that first loss. Berkshire Hathaway looks like it bounced close off the 30. Don't see anything there. Beyond Meat down 13% today. This is insane. Under the 30 RSI, nothing there for me. Caterpillar was up earlier, I noticed, but now it is back down. Nothing on Caterpillar. DDM, which is the double leverage Dow, down 20.96% just today. Just today, everybody. It's unreal. It's just unreal. The Dow Jones, the DIA, down 10.57. Looks like it's flirting with the 30 RSI here. But again, the reason I don't want to take any directional trades here is just because I feel more comfortable selling those deep out of the money puts, giving myself a lot of protection to the downside. And if I have to buy 25-30% lower, maybe I'll feel okay about it when it down at those prices. Walt Disney looks like it did reject the 30, under 30, over 30, but that's all it has. So I think I'm going to pass on Walt Disney. Let me take a look at something real quick. Okay. Etsy looks like it did find some support at the 30 RSI and bounce, but again, I'm just going to pass. Facebook trying to hold that 30 RSI, but again, so volatile. If I was going to do anything on Facebook, I mean, I literally would do the same thing and probably sell some puts down at 113, something like that. Not try to make a directional move on this, but just sell some premium. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying if I had to do something, that's what it would be. Gold. All right, well, listen, gold is somewhat interesting to me for a couple reasons. It reversed way off of its low. It went under 30, over 30. Currently, right now, it is above the 200-day. Let's take a look at the weekly. Rejected the 50-week moving average and the -1 ATR on the weekly. Looks like it gives a pretty good risk to reward ratio if it closes above the 200. I don't know if it's going to or not. We shall see. But that one's a potential for me with the small position size. Google, nothing. Looks like it's holding the 30 RSI, but again, I have Qs already. Goldman Sachs down 11%. Looks like it's holding that 30 range, but I don't want to get involved. Home Depot down 18.79% today. That's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, it's just insane. It's right there, right about the 30 RSI level. IBB looks like it rejected the 30, under 30, over 30, but I'm going to pass. Intel, probably would not get interested in Intel unless we had a variety of indicators like under 30, over 30, V1, false breakout to the downside, or possibly if we get back over the 200-day moving average. The Russell, nothing going on here. I trade and manage an account for a friend, and we sold Russell puts up here, which I'm really, really grateful we did, and I'm really grateful that we actually that I bought, or not sold them, bought them back there, and actually I'm glad that I bought some intraday ones here as well. Okay, I'm going to have to check this intraday trade here. It looks like I'm going to have to get out. 1,459 seconds left. It's a very small position, luckily. I just wanted to go through the motions of a trade, but I'm glad that I took a very small position there. Where were we? Johnson & Johnson. Nothing really there. CarMax, look at this, everybody. Down 21% just today. The weekly, I mean, we are, you know, I don't see any other support underneath us. Maybe here on the quarterly chart down at about 45, be another 10 points down. It's insane. Coca-Cola gap down, reverse back up. Big reverse back up. I don't think I'm going to buy that. Lockheed Martin just getting clobbered, just getting hammered. MasterCard down 11%. Yeah. McDonald's down 16% in one day, everybody. In one day. Merck only down 8%. I don't see anything there. Microsoft down 12%. Glad Kamal got out when he did. Netflix down 8%. I don't see anything there. Nike down 11%. They closed all their stores. Philip Morris 3480 RSI down 12%. I mean, everything's just, you know, it's just melting down. We are now down 2,700 points on the day. 2,700 points. Wow. I am almost speechless. Qs I have, of course. Luckily, I have 28% protection to the downside. I may need it. Silver, I know Mount Doji bought some puts on silver, so he kicked butt today. Congratulations, Mount Doji. Very nice. S&P, I better check that intraday trade. Not doing so hot. What do I have? 1,289 seconds left on that trade. I'll follow that back. SSO double leverage down 21% today. It's just insane. Bonds rallied today off their highs, up 6%. Tesla down 17% today. That's amazing. Twitter down 15%. Looks like it's holding the 30 RSI. United Airlines down 18%, 18.5%, way under the 30 RSI. Natural gas only down 4.83%. I don't see anything there. UNH, United Health Group, down 15%. Wow. Oil down 12.57%. VIX, well, here's something up 39.5% in one day. How's that, everybody? How is that? Wow. Wow, wow. This has gone from $15 up to $60. So it's been up 400% in a month. Verizon 35.63. It's down 5%. That's relative strength. Walmart down 6%. Energy Select 20.87 RSI. Financials under the 30, down 12%. Real estate really getting hit hard. Utilities, which is interesting, right? You would think utilities would be acting better in this situation. They are not, down 11% today. Yeah, this is historic. So honestly, the only thing that I am even possibly interested in today at all is if gold closes above the 200-day moving average, and that's not even the case at the moment. Frank says, as the market and rates continue to crash, cash becomes more valuable to a trader. That's 100% right, Frank. Cash is king right now. Ramble says 11% down. Marco, hi Marco, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you coming. Hope you're having a good evening. Mount Doji says market not liking what he has to say. What's he saying, everybody? What's he saying? Ramble says they need to stop talking. Mount Doji, VIX the past month is ridiculous. Kamal, I am not taking anything today. Gold also lost its 200. Yes, that's correct. Dr. Jorgensen, hey bud. Trumpy could not move the market up. What is he saying? Trying to look over here. Oh, great. The worst could last till August. Okay. Fantastic. Listening to Trump, and he has not answered any questions with direct responses apart from saying that virus will last until July, August. That's 4 to 5 months lockdown. Recession confirmed. Yes. Gamer says, I bought a very, very small position of VIXY last week, and it is up 31%. Too bad it is almost nothing, but still nice to see something green. Congratulations, Dave. Glad to hear that. Steve says, President Trump says worst of outbreak could last until August. I think it is what triggered to drop. CNBC quoted it. Ramble says, I've had VIX at 20, sold Friday too soon. Well, a little bit too soon, but congratulations, Ron. I'm glad you have some, my friend. Really, really, really. Okay, I just have to wait this out here. Wow, this is unreal. This is unreal. Steve says, he said at this point there will be no nationwide quarantines. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. I kind of thought there were going to be, but that's good news, bad news. I'm not 100% sure. Also read some things this morning, that the market would stay open, that it wouldn't close. It seemed like it was pretty definitive. Then later this afternoon, I was looking for that quote and I couldn't find it again. So I don't know. There is a possibility that the markets could close, but I'm not saying that. I'm just speculating. Frank says August changes the whole picture. Yeah, I think most people were talking about May and so forth, right? Well, I'll tell you what, I am glad that I got it out of that apple. That's all I can say. So the only thing I'm eyeing here is gold with the close over the 200. The reason I would take it is we went under 30, over 30, under the 200, over the 200. If it closes, gold has not been that great of a market hedge or a place where people are going to safety, but it is only down 1.73% today as well. So just have to wait. 140.72 is the line in the sand. Right now we are barely over that. So if I do take that position, I am only going to take half position. But again, only if it closes over 140.72, which is the 200-day. But I tell you what, these last few days, I've felt like I've had a little bit of a cold or a little bit of flu, which kind of freaks you out, right? I get colds and flus, but in this environment, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. There's not very many cases in Utah, but it's still kind of scary. Dr. Jorgensen says, look like states and cities doing their own shutdowns. Yep, that's true. How's everybody doing today? I mean, how's everybody hanging in there? I know we've had some good shorts. I know some people have pointed out that we've had some VIXs. Any losses today? Anything serious? I mean, what are your thoughts on the market? How are you feeling about this market and going forward? How are you feeling about your job, people that you know's job, that you know their job? Are they out of work? Have they been sent home? Glenn says, now walking back the July date as they know it scared the market. Oh, really? They just decided to walk it back? Time to head off to the woods and do some hiking, etc. Come back in the summer. Yeah, I agree. So just to recap, I am not taking the SPY trade. I just did not want to go through another night like that. Like I said, I did sell the Apple puts down to 210. I did get out of those much earlier. The reason I decided to get rid of them, one, it was break even, and two, I didn't want the correlation with the Qs. So I still have the SPY puts that I sold down here to exactly $200. These expire on Friday, so it was 20% enough to get me to Friday. I have no idea. But at some point, I don't think I mind owning these here and managing them from there. Qs, 28%. Oh no, here we go. About 28% protection to the downside down at 130. Those expire in June, so those ones are further out, so we'll see how they go. And then Exxon. So I think I have a pretty good broad mix there with an index, with two indexes and one oil stock that's really been beaten down. Who knows? Hopefully Exxon doesn't go out of business, right? But we shall see. And then the IWM puts that were bought, which of course I want those to go down, right? But we'll see. Kamal, I think we are going to be a huge bull market once we have a vaccine and antiviral. You would think, right? You would definitely think, but the point is, where is that bottom, right? I'm sure a lot of people have been calling bottoms for the last few weeks every day, and there's been a few bottoms, but they've been very short-term bottoms. My best advice to everyone out here, if the volatility is just too big, just stay out of the market. If you have to take a trade, take a very small position size, like a quarter, a half, maybe even 10%, right? Because the volatility has increased so definitely much. But it's never a good idea to try to catch a falling knife, and this is almost unprecedented. Steve Burns says, has anyone else noticed the SPY and the SPY and SP 500 getting decoupled on moves diverging and being a percent away from each other? I've only seen this in 2008. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I have not noticed that. All right. So looking at lockdowns for certain areas, just reading the headlines here. Dr. Jorgensen says vaccine is a long ways off, probably best case 6 months, more likely 1 year, then the virus will be gone and they will not roll it out like some other vaccines. Interesting. Yeah, I thought it would be a while. Yes, Steve, I thought it was the computers. Okay, so Frank's taking a look into that too. Evan, how you doing? There is still no vaccine for SARS, correct? And that was years ago. I don't know about that, but that wouldn't be a good sign, would it? So listen, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Usually we have a little bit more to talk about, but this is just so so epic that I really don't think I'm going to take anything other than possibly gold, but I'm just going to have to watch this. 200-day moving average is 140.72. Currently we're at 140.66. Would give me a good entry. I do like the double combination of the under 30 over 30. I do like that, and the under 200 over 200, and the weekly. I do like with the support under the 50-week moving average, but again, my trigger would be a close over the 200, and that's all. Well, I am going to go ahead and get rid of that SPY trade. That was a bad trade, but it was a super small position size, so it's not too stressful. I just wanted to get in there, place a valid trade, but this one didn't work. So Kamal says SARS did not stop the U.S. economy. That's true. Steve Burns says, hey, Frank, is it trading vehicles moving faster than indexes? That is very rare. Ed Thorpe used that in 1987 to make a killing, creating spreads, selling one short and buying the other as a hedge. Frank says, gold is not legal tender. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I've heard arguments both ways, right? Yeah, I don't think gold's going to do it. Well, I'll tell you what, I am just thankful. You know, it's a down day, but it's basically what the gain was on Friday, and I've got to be grateful and thankful for that for sure. Really right now it's definitely about capital preservation and keeping your mental capital too. I mean, losing capital is one thing, but making capital is a whole nother thing. We should focus on the risk. And right now it is, you know, the volatility is so brutal and the headline risk is so high. Evan says, things are okay with me, but we are starting to use facial tissue as toilet paper. Ha ha. Well, I guess it works. Kamal says, Amazon, Biden, or BEDET or Total This toilet paper nonsense is just crazy. Evan, yeah, I just take showers at this point. My goodness, this is insane. Almost 3,000 point down day. So yeah, gold's off the table for sure. Well, this is historic, everybody. I've never seen a 3,000 point down day, and it's very likely we're going to see one here. Liquidating all assets will impact gold and TLT. Gold break below 135 will send it down to 218 lows. Evan says, I'll be staying in cash. Good idea, sir. Kamal says, cash is king. Frank says, Utah becomes the first state to declare gold and silver coins as legal tender. Huh? How about that? If they can't make money, the drug companies drop them. Kamal says, it is historic that Greg is not taking the SPY trade, and Trump said media has been supportive. Yeah, I've taken that trade every single day since February 26, 2019. So this is a first. Ah, we are down 3,000. Yay! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, we have 1 minute. Oh, snap. It looks like gold's going to get there. I am going to take a half position if I have time. "45 seconds. If it closes above, it looks like it's going to. All right. Okay. 141.94. So that's the only new position. Other than the puts, that's the only one right there. 141.94. Now, again, if it closes under the 200-day, I will be out. That is all there is to it, right? My initial profit target would be up here, 50 RSI, 50-day moving average, and we'll see. And I took a half position there. Mount Doji says, I'm going to just enjoy my winnings from this morning and chill today. That sounds like a great plan. That sounds like a great plan. Ramble Ron says 3,000. Alton, hey, how you doing? What news today? Well, a lot of news, a lot of coronavirus news. President Trump talked earlier about, I guess, extending, the peak probably into possibly August, if I read the comments correctly. VIX 83. Wow. Ramble, 13% down. Mount Doji, we talked about that. Frank says, Liz Ann Saunders is not going to speak to you over this betrayal. I know. She tries calling me every day, talking about the overnight spy trade. I'm like, Liz, I'm busy. I don't have time. But I do talk about it every day. But no, that's a joke. That's okay. Haha, Frank. Good hike, down 3,000. Alton, what happened today? A lot of coronavirus news, a lot of coronavirus, bad economic things, all sorts of drama. Alton. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm glad I have this recorded. One day in the future, I'm going to go back and look at this and go, that was the day. That was the day. So listen, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. I just want to quickly put in my quick little daily plug and let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I really like to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I would say with my clients this year, the success has not been to the upside, but it has been limiting the losses to the downside, right? Some years make money, some years lose money, but hopefully on the year that the market's down, I'm losing much less than the market, and my students are losing much less than the market, which is the case this year. I am down, but nothing even close to what the indexes are down. So, there's not profitable years every year, at least not for me. Most of them are. But anyway, I teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years as a full-time trader, from all my coaches and mentors like Stephen Burns and Dr. Alexander Elder and Carrie Lavorne and Larry Williams, plus all the things that I've developed myself over the years. I think you'll enjoy the lessons. I think when you finish a lesson, you'll have a much better grasp on taking a look at the market, identifying levels, position sizing correctly, getting out when you're supposed to, letting your profits run, and how to do that. So, if you're interested, please let me know. The course is $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. You get a lot of personal attention. Each course is, the course is 5 sessions. Each course is between 2 and 3 hours per session. So you're going to learn a lot. So if you're interested, reach out to me. You can send me a message on Twitter. Or you can also just send me a message. My email, an email is in the description of this video here. And what I like to do with prospective students is I like to have a Skype call where we just get to know each other a little bit. It's free. There's no pressure from me. I promise. I just want to know more about you and your trading career and your challenges and your goals. You can ask me any question as well. And then, if we decide that we're a good fit together, then we'll schedule the lessons. So anyway, reach out to me if you're interested. And then secondly, if you like today's podcast, if you like the content, if it's been helpful for you, please do me a favor before you click out of here. If you could hit the thumbs up button, I would really, really appreciate it. It helps to grow the channel, helps to build the channel. And there's a lot of people out there, especially in times like this, that need at least to hear about some good trading principles. And I would hate to be a new trader out here and really not know how to put this all into context. So if you could, I would really appreciate it. Alton says, I guess our economy is so unstable because of coronavirus. Yes, I would imagine. Ron says, they're taking turns talking to see which one can get the markets to go back up. Alton says, wonder if there's any worse disease. I don't know. What stocks to invest in now? That's a tough question to answer because it really depends on the person's time frame, what their risk tolerances are. It's a very difficult question for me to answer, Alton. Whatever you invest in, if you buy something, be patient with it on the way up. If it goes down, be very impatient and take a quick loss. Kamal says, Greg's lesson and the support around it is excellent. Oh, thank you, Kamal. I appreciate it. Kamal is a great student. Did very well in the classes and just sharp individual. Frank says, as long as we can joke and stay healthy, we have done well. Totally true, Frank. Frank, did you have a poem today? Did I miss it? Everything was scrolling by so fast. Worst point loss in history. Yeah, that makes sense. Alton says, do we have to pay for the Skype? No, you don't. Bing He says, I didn't catch VGLT. Never mind. Paper trade then. Okay. Kamal, you should take the free call with Greg. Joe, hey, Greg, do market makers take out limit orders before price reversal, or is it computer? Saw a lot of that today. Honestly, Joe, I don't know. I don't know if Frank is out there listening. Hey, Frank, if you are. But Frank was a market maker. Or no, not Frank. Anthony. Sorry about that. I got those mixed up. But Anthony out there is a former student of mine. He was a market maker. I don't really know. Do market makers take out limit orders before price reversals, or is it computer? Saw a lot of that today. Yeah, I just don't know. Frank says it's time to use a 4-letter word, pray. Yeah, I agree. Well. Well, things are up in after hours a little bit, looks like. Apple down $36. Unbelievable. Losses 200 a day, by the way. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Really some people out there that are hurting right now. Which might be a good time to bring up. I try to mention this each day, but please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Don't get too close to them, though. Maybe just give them a smile or a wave from far away. I usually say hold a door open or this or that, but maybe call somebody, see how they're doing on the phone, right? Maybe they need somebody to speak to or having a tough day, especially if that are traders are out there or so forth. So, let's try to do that once a day. Make a nice kindness to somebody, just especially in this time. Alton says, did you see Dow stock? Down 14%. Is that what you're talking about? Dow, the stock, or the index? Well. All right. Hey, Frank does have a poem. The market is always right, even when it's wrong. Okay, sorry. The market is always right. Even when it's wrong, it's right. A trader can stop and get out of its way, but the market has the final say. So focus and you'll be okay. Just don't become the market's prey. Oh, very good, Frank. The market is always right. Even when it is wrong, it's right. A trader can stop and get out of its way, but the market has the final say. So focus and you'll be okay. Just don't become the market's prey. Yeah, Alton, just reach out to me. Send me an email. I can't do it tonight. Send me an email, and we will get it. We'll get it scheduled. Oh, I have a couple poems that I didn't post already, so I'll be posting those poems from Frank and Joe tonight. Sorry, I for some reason forgot to post those. Well, does anybody have any closing questions or any closing thoughts? Please let me know. Otherwise, gonna head out. It's a nice day. Like I said, I feel a little under the weather, so I might just walk around the yard a little bit and maybe go back to bed. I was up early this morning. Yeah, Alton, just send me an email so we can schedule it because I won't be able to do it today unless there's a question that you can just ask me quickly right now. Yep, historic day. Historic day. Dan, it's only 4:14 here, but a glass of wine seems to be in order. Good day. Good day to you, Dan. Good day to you, my friend. All right. Let's take a look here. Well, thanks for coming today, everybody. I really do appreciate it. It's nice that we have this group, have a little support here. We can watch things going on at the same time. I really do appreciate you coming here. I really do. Frank says, drink water often. It helps wash out virus and let stomach acid destroy it. Sounds like a plan. I don't think it ever hurts, right? Drink a little bit more water. All right. And Alton, just send me an email, okay? And we'll get it set up. Thank you, Kamal. Glad you got out where you did today on that run back up. Really glad. And congratulations, Mount Doji. Nice trade. And Joe, great short on JP Morgan. And Zach, good to see you, bud. Greg Perkins, thank you for having us. Thank you, Greg. And, you need to contact me, you know how, right? Bing He, good to see you, bud. Zach, thank you as always for a good stream on yet another tough day. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some green days here one of these days coming up. But in the meantime, try to keep those losses small. So All right. Mount Doji, good to see you, bud. Good trade on silver. Mecon25 says thank you. You're welcome. All right. Well, hang in there. Joe says, have a good hike, Greg. Take care. See you tomorrow. Dr. Doobie. Hey, I like that name. Dr. Doobie, good to see you. Appreciate you coming by today. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Everybody take care. Have a good rest of your day. And we will see what happens tomorrow again. All right. And Alton, again, just send me an email in the description here of this video, and then I'll schedule a time for Skype, because I can't do it right this second. All right. All right. Take care, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation, and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.